Please introduce yourself in the chat and let me know how long you have been in the hair business. Okay, so we don't have any introductions yet, or would you be more comfortable unmuting and then um, talking about how long you have been in the hair business? Okay, hi, Blessing, my namesake. Okay, you've been in the hair business for 4 years now. What kind of hair do you sell? What kind of hair do you sell? Do you sell raw Vietnamese hair? And who is your target market? I'm waiting for you, Blessing. Sorry, I'm trying to share the link to a few more people. It looks like people did not see the email. Okay, well, I think we can just proceed with the. Okay, hi, Emilia. Okay, you've been in the hair business since 2016 and you sell raw hair. Okay, right. Okay, so let me just get right into it. I will be sharing my screen. And okay, hi, Sally. You've been in the hair business for 2 years now, and you are still finding your way through the industry. Okay, all right, nice. You're welcome, Sally. And anyone else? Let me see. I do have a few familiar faces here, so. Okay, anyway, so let me get right into the slides. Um, okay, right. So this is everything I learned, or like almost everything I learned about going to Vietnam and just a bit about myself in the hair industry. So the truth about sourcing hair in Vietnam, what they don't tell you. So I'm going to try to make this session as interactive as possible because sometimes I feel like a lot of people we end up listening a lot. Meanwhile, there's a lot of questions we have and which are not answered. So I'll try to make the presentation itself very quick so we can have some time for questions and answers. Right. Okay. So over here, we'll just cover a bit about the sourcing landscape, why some vendors will mix up your hair, the dangerous supplier mistakes that I have made. So you can learn from them, what you should know before buying hair, and also some tests you can use to start testing your hair, and also some behind the scenes from my Vietnam trip. Okay, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Blessing Ngozi Onkwe Hansen. I'm the founder of Glam in Inches. So Glam Ninjas is a luxury hair brand in Ghana, but now we are working on a branch in Europe as well. So I started my hair business over 7 years ago, but I initially started by making wigs. And then after I had made wigs for a while, so one thing is that whenever I decide to do something, I do it very consistently. So after making wigs for a while, a friend of mine suggested that I buy hair from Nigeria. So I was buying hair from Miss Waneka. I think I bought some of their wholesale deals, but it took so long for it to arrive. So I also bought from Bow Hairs as well. I don't know if you are familiar with that brand. And after a while, I started testing Vietnam vendors. And I actually bought a vendor. I bought a Chinese vendor. At that time, I bought two Chinese vendors for their contacts. I bought them for $150 from somebody. I think at that time, $150, that was about 750 cedis. And for Vietnam, I kept testing over and over. I tested here and there. And after a while of testing, that was after COVID, I I bought hair from one vendor and I felt like this hair was perfect. It was everything I had wanted for my business because I didn't really know much. So I just went all in. I was buying so much hair from this particular vendor every single month. And not knowing, after a while, this vendor would just mix up bad hair in between. And I wouldn't know because I wasn't really testing. But when I complained, she would just tell me, she just apologize and offer me a discount and then I'll go on. So I think that's a mistake that some of us are making. We we just keep giving too many chances to the suppliers, and that's one thing that the suppliers know. They know that because even till today, I haven't bought from this vendor in almost a year, but every week that same vendor would send me high because they are very, very persistent. They know what they are looking for. So they are going to be really, really, really persistent in order to get you to come back to them. Because they know once you come back to them and you let your guard down again, they are going to start selling bad hair to you. Yes. And most of the time, because it's our comfort zone, we just end up going back to them. And that's what happened to me. So I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of clients. So you may wonder why, out of all the hair businesses in Ghana, I'm the only one who is like really bothered about sharing my experience in Vietnam and sharing everything I learned because I know for a fact that if I had this experience or if I had this knowledge 2 years ago, I would be far advanced. I wouldn't be where I am now. My business would definitely be way more advanced than it is now. So I lost a lot of clients. That was 2023. I lost a lot of clients because that vendor would mix it up. And I was buying a lot of hair. So I wouldn't see the need to test some of the hairs, right? So that is a big mistake that I made. And that is why I decided to go deep into offering hair business advice and expertise to people in the same industry. Right. So usually, how do most of us start sourcing hair? We just go on Instagram, we look at the hair, we look at the bundles, it's nice. We do a video call, we like their factory, we start buying from them. But what's really going on behind the scenes? So when I went to some of these vendors, I realized the problem. Some of them have really dirty factories. Like I went to a factory and there were so many animals. There was a dog in front of them at the entrance. There were birds, and there was another dog lying beside where they were making the hair. And you think about it, this is hair that we are going to put on our head, right? So imagine the kind of like if the dogs have fleas and lice and all these other things, and they are not taking care of the dogs, right? Some of these things will just go over into your hair. And also, some of the vendors are so greedy. So, what they do is that while they are making the hair, if pieces fall down, those pieces, they are not going to let it go. They are going to gather them together and make them into another bundle and sell it. So sometimes, whilst they are making the hair you have ordered, they might just decide to add on a few pieces of other hair inside. So that's what happens. And everybody says their hair is raw Vietnamese hair. So what do? It's really tough to, even now, I struggle to really like understand some of these new vendors because even though I have met some of them, like when I meet a new vendor, sometimes it's difficult to really tell if this vendor is who they say they are. Right. Okay. So what I realized was that generally when you go on Google and you check for Remy hair, um, virgin hair, all those other grades of hair, you would see general explanation. So virgin hair is apparently it's supposed to be undiluted hair, so unprocessed hair. But virgin hair in Vietnam means multiple donor hair. Remy hair in on Google means hair that is aligned. The cuticle is aligned. But Remy hair in Vietnam means that's like the some of the vendors know what it means, but for some of them, when they say they are selling Remy to you, if you don't know what exactly it is and you follow the Google explanation, you end up buying a lot of rubbish because Remy hair for some factories is the least quality. Like that is the pieces of hair that they have picked up from the salon floors and put together. And usually when they do that, they will use a lot of chemicals to coat it, like to make it look so beautiful. And also the language barriers is crazy. The language barrier is really um, difficult. Sorry, a minute. Mod, if you are here, some people are asking for the link on TikTok, so please share with them. And also, I think some on Instagram as well, if you have the business of your dreams. Yes. Anyway, so language barrier, I found language barrier to be one of the most difficult challenges I have faced in sourcing hair. Because when you get the hair, even how to complain about it to the vendor, you can't call them because some of them they don't even understand English. So they are using Google Translate to communicate with you. So if you call them, then they can't talk to you anymore. So language barrier it leads to a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of scams. So you may wonder if you trust your vendor, you've been buying from them for many years, like what happened to me. Why is it that all of a sudden they would start sending bad hair to you? So sometimes, the Vietnamese people they are not as advanced as people in or the factories in China. So they would, let's say, during busy seasons like Christmas and holidays and stuff, they will just take so many orders. And what I realize is that everything is handmade, so it's very slow. So even your little 10 bundle order can sometimes take a while to be produced. Yes, so during busy seasons like sorry, somebody here. So during busy seasons like Christmas and like times that people buy hair, your supplier is more likely to mess up your order. So that's the time that you have to be even more critical. And also sometimes they are struggling to get the raw material. Because when I went to some of the factories, I realized that most of them don't have enough raw material. They don't have a lot of raw material. So sometimes they have to mix it with Indian hair, Chinese hair, just try to, because when you bring an order, they can't say no. They want the money. So they are going to take your order, tell you they'll make it for you. Then they are now going to find ways and means to put your order together for you. And some of them are actually not genuine. So they give you the first orders good, and then later they just don't care anymore. And I think one thing that protects them is that there's no contract, because I believe that if you are sending $10,000 to somebody for a product, at least the person should be able to give you the person should be able to sign a contract that says that um if they don't deliver on time, or if they don't deliver um like the product like you requested, there's supposed to be a way for them to refund you, a way for them to exchange or make it better. So if you are dealing with, I think some of these vendors, if you ask them for contracts, they will do it, because I went to some factories, they were very organized. There are some factories I went to, very neat, very organized. Everything is like orderly. They know exactly what they are doing. So if possible, you could ask your vendors if when you want to, maybe Christmas, you want to send a huge amount of money, ask them if you can sign a contract. So maybe you can sign a contract on a PDF, and then that shows that if they send you and there are problems, they will take responsibility. Yeah, so that would help your business. So I didn't do any of these things, and um, I wasn't also testing the batches. So don't be like me. Yes. And also I I didn't really like I didn't do tests like I was saying. I wasn't testing the batches. So exactly, all these things happened to me. And I also kept making excuses, because sometimes we are comfortable, like I said, you are comfortable with the vendor, and you also believe that if this vendor gave me good hair before, maybe they can give me good hair again, right? So that's the problem. Yeah. Okay, so finally, after 6 years in the business, I was tired of wasting money. So I decided to spend some money and travel to Vietnam. And when I traveled, I visited 16 factories. So I spent hours at every single factory. Some of them I spent 6 hours at them. I wanted to really understand everything, because I felt like I had wasted so much money in this business. So I realized I had wasted so much money in this business. So I really wanted to find a way to, or I really wanted to make sure that moving forward, my business moves in the right direction. Right. So when I went to each factory, I tried to ask questions, because I realized that I was at a factory and two women came from the UK, and they just came in, saw the hair, and within 15 minutes, they made an order and they left. That's the worst mistake you can make in your business. Even if somebody, even if I have given you information about your business, you need to do your part. You need to make sure you understand that information that has been given to you, right? So it's really important that we all take time and understand how the hair business works. Watch a lot of YouTube videos, buy vendor lists, pay for you can enroll for the Notes from Vietnam course. Like, try to understand the business, because if you do that, you end up avoiding all these wastage, like the wastage of money. Some of the wigs that I still have in my shop now, I can't sell them because they are damaged. They came and they are not good. Even till now, some of the old stock, I might maybe my worker might end up selling it, and then we still have problems, and then we have to fix some of these things, right? So it's like the amount of money you will save by doing your research is really going to help you, honestly. So don't be like me. That's exactly what I would say. And there are a few things that you should do. In Notes from Vietnam, I show you how to order a sample, and even show you which vendor to order from. So after you order the hair from the factory, right, you have to test it. So you can study the strands. I don't know if everybody can see me, but you can study the strands. So this is supposed to be single donor adult hair. How would I know this? When you look at the strands for single donor adults are thick and they are kind of strong. Baby thin strands are very thin, and they are really soft, right? And then virgin hair strands, they are not uniform. So multiple donor strands, they are not uniform. That's how you would know, right? And also, one thing that a vendor showed me was sometimes you realize when you, like, normally as human beings, when our hair falls down, let's say you are combing your hair and it falls down. So let me just take a strand of hair from this wig. Right. So let's say your hair falls down. Usually there's a whitish tip over here from the scalp, right? So if you get a wig and you look at the bundle and you see a lot of whitish tips, so you look at the bundle very closely, you see a lot of whitish tips on the hair. It means this is floor hair because the hair was picked from the salon, people's hair that has fallen down, and they've put it together to make a bundle. So you can see the white tips at the end, right? So I show everything. So in Notes from Vietnam, I actually hold the bundles. I show you everything that I was taught by the factory hands. And also, if you want to test for tangling, the best way is to wet your hair. So when you wet the hair and then you kind of brush through it, it will tell you if it tangles a lot or is shedding. Because hair will shed more when it's wet or when it's really, really dry. Yes. And also, another way to see if your bundle was made well. So when you hold the bundle like this, you can just shake it really, really hard. And then when you do that, if you see a lot of, this one has been layered, but then if it's supposed to be a uniform bundle and you see short strands sticking out, that shows you that the wig was made or the bundle was made in a mess. It wasn't drawn very well to remove all the short strands. Yes, so there are so many ways to test the hair. So of course, anytime you get a new supplier or even your old suppliers, because we can't trust that every time they are going to have your best interest at heart, it's good to always test. Okay, so how do you know is Vietnamese, actually raw Vietnamese hair? Well, ignore the white tip at one end. It's not supposed to have white tips because if they are cutting from the vendor, they don't cut from the roots. They make a ponytail and they cut. So the middle of the hair doesn't have any white tips. So please ignore that. The natural brown shade, yes, because mostly Vietnamese hair is not very black. It's usually like a 1B. It doesn't have a silicone shine, yes. So now I can tell the difference between hair that has been coated with silicone and hair that is naturally shiny. When you see baby thin hair is really naturally just so shiny, like it has a natural shine to it. Even raw hair has, single donor hair has a natural shine to it. But then silicone, the hair looks too plastic, like it looks too shiny to be real. Like when you study the strands, you realize that it's not inside the hair, it's just coated. Another way is to wash the hair. When you wash the hair with a very good shampoo, it would, if there's silicone on it, it will wear off. The heavier and fuller ends, yes, but it depends on the person that it was cut from. Because if it was cut from a vendor with full hair, then the bundle is also going to be full. Or maybe sometimes super double drawn, they might just cut it to make it even. And then minimal to no shedding. As for shedding, shedding is very dependent on, it's not dependent on the quality of the hair, it's dependent on the factory. So if the factory doesn't make the wefts very well, your hair is going to shed, right? That's what happened to me. So the raw material that the factory had was really good, but they were not making the hair very well. Okay. Yes. So this is just a repeat of the mistakes that nearly destroyed my business. I didn't uh, I didn't really test each batch before selling. I didn't do a supplier trip earlier. If I knew, I would have, because I spent too much money, honestly. The second year of business, I would have gone to Vietnam much earlier, but I didn't do that. And it took me losing a lot of money before I finally learned my lesson. So this year, I actually wanted to go to Vietnam again. I was going to open a sourcing trip so that anyone who was interested could join me to go to Vietnam. But unfortunately, there are problems with visas. It looks like they have blacklisted all Africans or something like that. So we are hoping, or we are just waiting for them to lift that ban. And also, one thing is, I even though I try to educate my customers, I think now the education I have or the education I do now is better because we previously, I also didn't know the exact or the detailed differences between the hair textures, but now I do. And also, it's very important to educate your customers because your customers can take really good hair and just by not managing it well, they may end up just destroying their hair and then the blame is going to come to you. So that's one thing. The hair business can be so lonely because when you buy hair from your vendor they remove themselves, recluse, or is that the word? Recluse themselves from any blame, or they take themselves away from the equation. Once they send you the hair, because you can't send the hair back to them, there's nothing you can do. You when you sell it and your customers don't like it, you are stuck. You are now stuck with bad hair. And if it's like maybe clothes or something else, you could find a way to sell it because clothes are things that people buy all the time. But bad hair, you cannot sell it. You like what can you do with the hair? So you are just stuck with hair. You've just wasted so much money and then you are there. So the hair business can be really, really lonely. So if possible, just make sure you educate yourself and get the knowledge that you need so that you don't waste so much money. Yes. And also I ignored the warning signs because my supplier was sending me good hair before. So I thought, oh, if she sent me good hair before, it means she can do it again. And that was a mistake that I made. Right. Um, okay. Yes. So I was saying it already. If I had this information 2 years ago, so one thing I did when I came back from Vietnam, I increased all my prices because when I went to Vietnam, some of the factories, their prices are even higher than mine. Like those prices are supposed to be wholesale prices, but they were higher than my retail prices. So I realized that if you wanted to build, or if I wanted to build a stronger brand with give more value to my customers, I would need to also increase prices. And I don't shop from one supplier. That is something I always advise all my students or everybody I speak to. Don't shop from one supplier. Keep changing your suppliers. Every 3 months, try a new supplier, test a new supplier because suppliers get comfortable. They are also human beings. When I went, one of my big suppliers, she was heavily pregnant. Now she's probably on maternity leave. So something like that, if she has an assistant who is not serious, maybe you've been buying and she has been giving you good hair, the next batches will be bad because it's not her fault. She's also a human being. So if you don't have other suppliers to try, you will end up just wasting your money on one supplier over and over. So at least you have multiple suppliers you can try. So one thing in notes from Vietnam is every supplier, I bought samples from them. So it's not just people are asking if they get what's the name? Contacts, vendor contacts. Of course, notes from Vietnam is everything I learned. So when I go to each factory, I show you everything in their factory. I give you their number. I also bought some samples and I show you how the samples behave. And then all the hair that I saw in their shop, I would also show it to you. And then I give you their prices as well. So you can also see if this vendor is good for you or not. So think about it. I did this for 16 good vendors. So 16 vendors, you have this information for 16 vendors. So it's like, yeah. Anyway, and I wouldn't waste money on mixed hair. Like I said, I'll be far ahead in my business. Yeah. Okay. So these are just some key lessons that you shouldn't forget. Don't trust your vendors blindly. make sure you do your own tests. If possible, visit your factory, visit them, or maybe buy or learn from people who have visited them, because now it's difficult to visit. And also do your research. Learn the basics of hair grading. Your customers should not come and teach you about your hair. Like, you should know everything about the hair because it's your business. If not, you lose a lot of money. Yes. So stop wasting money, invest in education. Yeah, I'll hit on the head over and over. And I mean, I've spoken a lot about it. I would just take you through a few of the modules. Let me a minute, let me open it. I'll take you through a few what the modules are. Um, okay, let me switch. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen. What's this thing? Okay, Google Chrome. Okay, so this is the notes from Vietnam course. I just want to take you through the modules. So what exactly is in the modules? So yes. So module one, this is module one. So first of all, we have the introduction, which just tells you exactly what the course is about. And then module one takes you on how to research and find suppliers for your business, and also how to build a professional relationship with your suppliers. Because the thing is that your suppliers are also human beings. A lot of the time, we are very transactional. We behave as if it's just business, business. But sometimes they just want to engage with you. They just want to be friends with you. Because I went to a supplier and she was just telling me how she wants to travel, she wants to see the world. Like, they are just people too. So sometimes just engage with them. Let them feel like you are, it's not just about the hair. So sometimes when you do that, at least they may kind of have this affinity or have this liking towards you. And then, of course, hopefully it would reflect in the hair you buy from them. And then these are red flags and mistakes to avoid when sourcing hair. So in module one as well, I show you how the hair business came about and which parts of Vietnam that you can get the hair. So usually you can get them in Bac Ni. Bac Ni is a hair village. Yes. Maud, please ask the people on WhatsApp to mute, right? Because they are really loud. Okay. And then module two talks about the hair terminology. So the thing is, I could have just gone straight to give you the factories, but if you don't understand the basics, you wouldn't know what to do with the factories. So if you don't understand the basics about the hair itself, the hair business itself, then you are just, it's like the factory, it's not going to change anything about your business. It's just like you buying a normal vendor list. And that's not the point of Notes from Vietnam. So in module two, I take you through the hair terminologies and how hair is graded in Vietnam. So the hair terminologies is the ones you find on Google, all of them. And then how your supplier would also grade their own, which is very important. You need to know. And then the visual differences among the hair grades in Vietnam. So I show you them side by side, everything you need to know so you can easily look at a bundle and be able to tell which hair it is. And then how to test hair for quality, tangling, shedding, and stuff. Now, this is the juice. This is where everything is. This is, you see, this is everything about or everything about my factory visits. So the first factory I visited was my long-time supplier. Uh, so I just wanted to see how their factory was. So you can see every supplier. I have a specific and a very detailed video about each supplier. So some of the suppliers that you have been seeing on TikTok, there's this really popular one on TikTok. I visited them and I was really impressed. Like they have money, their factory is big and beautiful. So that kind of inspired me because I'm like, okay, if people can make money like this from selling hair, and when you go to Vietnam, Vietnam is not, it's not like even though it's kind of advanced because it's Asia and stuff, there are still the same opportunities we have here in Africa. So I don't see why we can't operate on the same level that they are operating. So that kind of inspired me. And I also, okay, there are some vendors here who had a wide product range. I had some that had really, really good HD frontals and stuff. So this basically is um, inside all my 16 factory visits. So in here, you have the vendor contacts, every question I asked, all the notes. There are even screen recordings of all the notes I took, all the videos I took, all the bundles I tested in their factories, the samples I bought, and then stuff like that. Okay. And then module 4. So after all this, I felt like I can't just leave it like this because if you know about the vendors, what next? What do you do with that information? So I went ahead to, so one of my students who has taken this course, she says that these were really good, but when she got here, she felt that there was too much information for her to grasp. So she had to watch it, take a break, and come back and watch it again. Because over here, I talk about each vendor and their price side by side. So I tell you which, because most of them, their prices are similar, but some are a bit higher. So each vendor and their pricing side by side. And then I also tell you which vendor that I would recommend for which hair. Because personally, I work with about 5 or 6 vendors at a time. So maybe this vendor is good for HD frontal. This vendor is good for virgin hair and affordable virgin hair. This vendor is good for this. So exactly what you need to know. And then also how to price your hair for profit. So over here, I actually show you the pricing that I use for my business. So I have an Excel sheet, which is my master cost price, and I show you the formula that I use for my business. So you can just replicate it for your business as well. And also how to market and brand your business. Because after all this knowledge, if you are not selling, then you are just wasting your time. If you do all this, you know all these vendors, and you are not marketing your business, you better just stop because your business cannot survive without marketing. Very important. So that's, I added marketing, and then that is notes from Vietnam. So sorry, a minute. So before I launched Notes from Vietnam, we had some beta testers, like some people test it out, and everybody had very great things to say. These are a few of them. I even have a video testimonial of this lady, and I'll be sharing it on my Instagram page very soon because she said she watched everything over and over, and yeah, it has been amazing. So, and so over here, you can see Notes from Vietnam is launching in 2 days. Even though it has been live for a while, I'm officially launching it in 2 days. Yes, and I know I mentioned that it was going to be 2,000 CDs till 24th, but for only those of you who joined today's call, for only those of you who joined today's call, I'm going to give it to you for 1,500 cities. How much is 1,500 cities in dollars? I don't know. I would have to check, but I think that would be about $120 instead of the 2,000 cities. So you have until 24th of July for only those who joined this call. You have until 24th of July. You can buy it instead of at 2,000 cedis, you can buy it at 1,005. And that is for tomorrow and then Thursday. And then it goes back to the full price of 3,000 Ghana cedis. Okay, let me go back to my slides. Okay, so I think now I'm going to take some, a minute, so I'm going to take some questions now. And also, I like to do something called live coaching, where if you have some business challenges, you can quickly share, and then as much as possible, I will help. So you can ask questions concerning today's session, or you can just quickly share a business challenge, and then I'll quickly give some advice, and then we can, yes, we can. So anybody who wants to go first, a minute, let me. So you can share your questions in the, you can share your questions in the chat, or you can unmute and ask, you can raise your hand and unmute and then ask your questions. Anybody? Okay, I think somebody is asking, a minute. Yeah, hi. Hello. Hello. The WhatsApp call is very uh a lot is going on there. But anybody on Zoom wants to ask a question or needs a clarification on something, or you can also type it so I can answer. Okay, so Irene, please, I'm a starter, trying so hard to quit my 9 to 5 job. Sorry, a minute. Maud, I think you may have to remove some of the people that are not muting, because it's not fair to the others on the call. So you are an admin of the page. So look for the people who are very noisy, and then you can temporarily remove them from the group. That's the only way to take them from the call. Yeah. Okay. So please, I'm a starter trying so hard to quit my 9 to 5 job by next year to fully go in the hair business. How much do you need? Do you think I need as a capital? Is 2,000 okay to start, or 20,000 okay to start? Okay, 20,000 is definitely okay to start, first of all, but you don't just quit your job. There's a process before you quit your job to go into your business full time. Yesterday, I actually shot a YouTube video about this, because people in my WhatsApp group were asking about, a lot of people have 9 to 5 jobs, and they are looking for ways to, like me, because I had a 9 to 5 job. They are looking for ways to transition into business. So first of all, you need to really save up a lot, and you need to start your business before you quit your job, because you don't know if your business is going to be successful, or if you are going to run your business properly. So if you quit your job in this economy before your hair business is doing well, you are going to be in trouble. So find time around your schedule. As a beginner, find time around your schedule. When I was working, I was going to work from 12 to 8. So I'll use the morning from 6 o'clock to, let's say, 10. I'll use that time to film my videos. So find time, weekends, in the evenings, like find time to start your business. Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if Maud heard me about the, let me see. Okay. Um, a minute, please. Ah, she said she's unable to remove them. Okay. Well, so then let's tell them to join the Zoom meeting. Like those who are complaining, they should join the Zoom meeting because on WhatsApp, there's not much we can do about it. Yeah. Anyway, so the next question, please, those of us who would like to travel to Vietnam, is there a specific amount you should have before you go? Okay, so last time I put a video about my visa, but I think I made a mistake in that video. I said $5,000 for my hotel, and that's not true. That's too much. No, so my Vietnam flight was um, I used Emirates at that time, and I flew from Denmark. It wasn't from Ghana, so that was closer. I'm trying to remember. It was about $700 at that time, and my hotel stay was $50 a night. So that's one thing. Vietnam is very affordable. Vietnam is affordable. Like taxis are cheap, everything is really affordable. But if you are going to be joining me on the sourcing trip, there will be another a special price because of course I'll have to organize itinerary and everything. So that will be communicated. So, but then there's a form on the website that people have filled, and then that form people have suggested their budget. So I'll be paying attention to that, and then yeah, I would see. The next question from Sally. Sometimes it's difficult to make sales, even after getting all this information, stocking up and marketing your hair. How can you deal with such situation? So the only way to make sales is marketing. So if you are marketing and you're not making sales, it means you're not marketing well or you're not marketing enough. So sometimes your marketing, you think you are marketing, but you are not. That's what I realized. You realize that some people post like 10 times a day, but then you would post once a week and you're expecting to make as much sales as they are making. It's not going to work. Also, your content. What kind of content are you marketing? Because you could be marketing really poor quality, or you could be boosting really poor quality content. So that is also really important because hair is beauty. Beauty appeals to the eyes. So how do you appeal to people's eyes is by the visuals, how clear, how beautiful, how nice the hair looks. That is what's going to make them want to spend money on it. So it's very important. That's the thing. At the end of the day, you still need to find ways to make your business stand out. Yes. So yeah. So, I mean, if you're struggling with this, I do have a mentorship group. We meet every Sunday at 6 p.m. So you may reach out, and then it's called the Growth Circle. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. we meet every single Sunday on Zoom, just like this. And then in that case, it's more like group coaching. So I'm able to look at your business, look at your page, and I tell you, do this, do this, do this, do this. So at least that may be a bit more hand-holding or a bit more detailed than what I could say here. Okay. Lisa, how much would it cost to travel to and come back to Vietnam? So I mentioned it earlier. You would have to budget maybe $1,000 plus, because $500 for $50 per night for a good hotel, because at least you want to be okay. You don't want to stay at it's a country you're not very conversant with. So you want to stay at an okay hotel, not too expensive. So $50 a night is fine. And the flight, Emirates is okay because you can use Emirates. Qatar is there, but Qatar is very expensive. So Emirates is fine to Vietnam, yeah. And then that was about $700. So give or take 1,200. Yeah, but like I mentioned, if you are going to be traveling with me on my next trip as part of the sourcing trip, you would have to pay a little extra to cover itinerary and stuff like that. Okay, will you get pack hairs at Vietnam? So pack hairs is mostly China. But the thing is, China and Vietnam, they share a border. So it's literally China shares a border with Vietnam. So sometimes people visit the two countries at the same time. I think if I had thought about it, I might have done that. But you usually get pack hair from China. Vietnamese people, even if the hair is very, very bad, they are not going to pack it for you because they don't use a lot of advanced technology and things. Everything is handmade. Where do you source affordable yet good hair? Vietnam or China? Affordable is relative, right? So affordable, some people 5,000 cedis is affordable for them. Some people affordable is 500 cedis. So affordable is relative. But if you are talking about in the 500 cedis range, you can get from Vietnam, right? But it may be very bad quality. China has a wider range of products. China has very wide range of, so in China, you can get hair as low as $10 and as high as $100,000. I mean, so China has a wider range. So if you are looking for really, I think there's a place like there's a market in China. They sell hair. So different vendors sell hair. It's more like a market. So you can just go and you see various types of hair. So I think for those kind of hairs which are not so good or like China, but then Vietnam, you would get the non-Remy hair, which is kind of affordable. Yeah. Okay. Do you just travel to Vietnam to source hair, or there's a specific town known for hair wholesalers? So Bacne, BAC, I'm going to type it in the chat. Bacne is known as the hair village of Vietnam. Everybody there works in hair. So you have children, adults, grandparents. So it's like everybody is doing hair in that place, right? So people have done hair, they have given birth, their children have. So it's like generations of hair business owners. Yeah, so um basically that is the hair village, but most of the time they are all over. There are a lot of places in a lot of factories in Hanoi as well, some in other cities as well. Yeah, but Bacne is, but I prefer to stay in Hanoi because Hanoi is a city. Bacne is more like a village. So I was staying in Hanoi and it was like a 1 hour taxi ride to Bacne every single day. It was very tiring, very stressful. So then last time they were advising me that the next time I should get a hotel in Bacne. I'm not sure because Bacne is like in the village. So if you want to do other things aside getting hair, you're going to be stuck. Okay. Aside sponsored ads, doesn't mean consistent posts can't get you customers. Instagram is not boosting organic posts anymore or like before. So you need, at least you need to, how would I even say, you need to pay for your ads to your posts to get seen, right? So even if you're not going to do it every day, at least there has to be a budget for you to boost your posts, right? And I do have a course on how to create or how to create effective Instagram ads. It comes free for those who are in the growth plan. So those who are in the growth plan will get that course for free. So if you are interested in joining, so the growth plan is the mentorship group, the one that we meet every Sunday. When you join, you also get the Instagram course for free. Yeah. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out. Um, Mod, you can write your number in the chat so that anybody who is interested or what needs extra information on anything can just reach out to you. Yeah. Okay. So, but sponsored ads now on Instagram, I think TikTok, because of the way TikTok's algorithm is, your posts can get seen, but Instagram is very hard for you to get views without boosting, to be honest. It's really, really hard. Yeah. When is my next trip? Well, I was planning on going in October, but I wasn't able to get a visa because apparently they have blacklisted Africans, but I'm hoping they will lift it soon and then I can go. But if I don't go in October, I'll be looking at going early next year. Does notes from Vietnam include China contacts? No, it's notes from Vietnam. Notes from Vietnam, because I wanted to give you factories that I have gone to myself. Even though I have China vendors, I have a number of China vendors, I have not visited China before. So notes from Vietnam or China, I buy from them and they ship to me in Ghana. But Vietnam, I have gone there. So notes from Vietnam is notes from my trip to Vietnam. Everything I learned. So yeah, basically it's for Vietnamese vendors. How much do you need to start a hair business in Ghana? In Ghana, you can start your hair business with any amount at all. People start their hair business with nothing because they drop ship. So they can be buying from other people and then selling it. That's also a way to start your business. Or if you have if you have the funds. So the thing is, I have a sample list you must order to start your business. So if you want to, I think it's also in the course, a sample list that you must order and how many pieces that you should order to start your business. So based on the vendor you are buying from, it could be 5,000 CDs, it could be, so it depends. Yeah. How much to travel to China or Vietnam? The Chinese visa is expensive. I know the Chinese visa is is it $800 or something for just the visa? That's what yeah, $800 for the visa. So that's the thing. But Vietnam visa was very cheap. It was like $25 for the visa. So, but I think traveling will be the same. The flight will be around the same thing, 600 or $700, and then the hotel stay, it depends totally on you. Yeah. Okay. Um, is Are there any options for reaching a larger audience for your posts apart from running Instagram ads, working with influencers, collaboration, or wait, working with influencers? They have a larger audience. So when you work with influencers, it's more like it's the same thing as running Instagram ads, or just that maybe they will give you some of their credibility, right? So you will get a very large audience when you work with influencers, and also collaborating with other people. So right now, we are my business. We are collaborating with a lot of hairstylists because it also gives us visibility. Because the hairstylists, they also have an audience, so that will give you visibility. So you can collaborate with a clothing page. Maybe you sell hair. You can give them the hair for their shoots, and then so that's a way for you to also collaborate, and also you get on your post to also get to be on their page, and then their audience will also see it. Yeah. Yes, Instagram ads of late, they are not very effective. So what I do is I test a lot. So sometimes I would boost one thing and then I'll be studying it for 3 4 days. If it's not working, I delete it. Then I boost another one. So I keep testing. That's the best way to that's the best way to what's the know if your posts are going to work and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. These are all the factories in notes. No, in Bakni. No, no. So some of them I couldn't. I went to their office because their factories were far away, like 6 hours. I needed to take a flight. So some of them they are off. But the thing is, most of them have their offices in Hanoi. So when you go to Hanoi, so that's why sleeping in Hanoi was good for me because I was able to visit the offices, and then Hanoi is very close to Bakni. So I'll just take a 1 hour taxi ride and then I'll go to Bakni. Um, Lisa says, do you think pack hairs are as quality as naked hair bundles? Uh, so pack hair, I think it's just the branding because pack hair is hair that you have put in a pack. So just think about it. I have a hair bundle, I put it in a rubber and I seal it. Is it now pack hair? So it's just the tag. It all depends on who you're buying the hair from. Somebody can pack the top hair. So they can buy top quality hair and put it in a pack. It doesn't mean the hair is not good anymore. So it all depends on who you are buying the hair from. The naked hair, too, some people can buy the cheap pack hair and remove it and sell it as naked hair. So it all depends on who you are buying the hair from. Very important. So are there any more questions? Otherwise, I would. Okay. Wigs and bundles, which is profitable? Well, bundles, you can put profit on each of them. Wigs, you can also put bundle profit on each of them and then it piles up. So I think it really depends. It depends on your pricing. It really depends on your pricing because somebody can sell any of them and make a lot of money. Anyway, so I wanted to do about an hour. So if there are no more questions, let me share this screen. So if there are no more questions, I do have a number of free resources on uh, my website, thebusinessofyourdreams.org. This is a free book. So for is it Irene, the lady who mentioned she's a starter. This book will give you a 30-day plan on how to launch your business. This is Build a Business of Your Dreams, a step-by-step plan, step-by-step guide for new entrepreneurs. So it will give you a 30-day plan. So from here to here to here. Maud, can you please share the link, the website link to on the chat or in the chat? Yeah. So this will give you, and then there's also the Instagram ads course. It's 600 CDs, but I mentioned it's free if you join the Growth Circle. So this is the Growth Circle. It's actually we meet every Sunday, and these are old prices, unfortunately. At the moment, it's 400 CDs per month for Growth Circle. And we have a number of courses that you can access for free. And I'm still recording new courses every single month. And those in the Growth Circle would get to enjoy those courses. And sometimes we discuss. So people have problems with their Instagram, they're able to bring it, or problems with their ads, they bring it on Sunday, and then we are able to give them advice. Yeah. And even pricing. So Growth Circle, I go deep into your challenges and everything you are going through. And yeah. Yes. So thank you so much for joining today's session. I enjoyed it. I hope you did. Please, can you tell me how today's session was for you? I would like to know if you could tell me in the chat. I don't know if there are more questions. Okay. Wow, I'm still seeing a few more questions. I'm going to answer them, but please tell me how the session was for you. I really want to know. I had a number of people sign up to join the webinar, but unfortunately, it looks like not everybody could join. Some of them had trouble with the email for the Zoom link. So it looks like we have to do better next time. I'll post this on YouTube. I'll post the full thing on YouTube. So yes, I'll post the full thing on YouTube. So those who missed or those who want to recap can at least go through. Um, Lisa says some vendors text you randomly on social media. Well, you can try them. So the thing is, you call them on video call and you let them show you their factory. That's a way to also see if they are good or not. Yeah. And Emilia, can you give a rough estimate? Um, at the moment, I don't, if I give an estimate, I'll be shooting myself in the foot. So I would much rather you fill the form. So Maud, please share the link for those who want to travel to Vietnam. Please share the link again. And then I think share your number as well. So if anybody has any questions, they can just reach out to you, please. Yeah. Okay. So you can fill the form and then we will be contacted in due time. Lisa says, is there a platform to find hair suppliers like Alibaba for Vietnam? I don't know. A lot of people sell vendor lists. So I don't know if that is the platform, but I mean, for China, you can find them in Alibaba, AliExpress, so many places. But Vietnam, I'm not very sure. Unfortunately, I'm not. But I mean, I would say Notes from Vietnam is your way to find suppliers because it's more in depth. So, but I guess it's not free. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Um, okay. So if there are no more questions and no more additions, thank you so much. Okay. Irene, the wig from factory, are they suitable or is it better you sew? Some people don't like factory wigs because, I mean, I don't see the difference because factory wigs are made by human beings as well. So you just have to tell your factory or your supplier how you want the wig, and then I guess, yeah. So Irene says it was insightful. I'm so okay. Thank you. God bless you too. Very educative. God bless you. It was insightful. Okay. All right. God bless each. God bless each of you. Thank you so much for joining today's session. And I really enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll have more sessions like these. So I'm planning to have more webinars. Maybe the next one will not be about Vietnam sourcing, but about general business or general things that can help you in your business, like pricing, how to hire staff, so I'm planning to have more webinars. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one. So have a great night, everyone. Bye bye.